So finally, I wanted to make a video on this for a while, but welcome to Le Arsenal tier list video. I've been done, as you can see, or as you know, I've been doing Arsenal videos since like October, I believe, and we have gotten up to like I believe 6 or 7 videos at this time of the making of this video, and I felt, well, we finally had to do a tier list for this series, and guess what the fuck was that? Well, guess what? I will be doing it. So as you can see, we got X, which is basically the best tier, and then F, which is basically the worst tier. So let's start off with the weapon. We're going in alphabetical order, by the way. These are all the weapons. Excuse me, currently. And I'll start off with the AA-12. Has probably the best accuracy in the game. Does a great amount of damage, but poor fire rate. It's still probably one of the best weapons in Arsenal, hands down. This weapon, whew, I love this weapon to a core. I don't think I'll hate this weapon ever. It's so good. AK-74, I'd say it's a B because while the fire rate is pretty good, the rounds are kind of low, and it's kind of bad for far accuracies, but it's still decent. AKM is basically the AK-47, but it's low. 74, sorry, is lower. It still has the same fire rate, but it's terrible at far accuracy. But it's decent. It's at fucking medium accuracy. So they both have the same rounds. AUG is definitely an A tier. It has pretty good fire rate. Very good at almost all accuracy. I would say this is an S tier, but that is not. But it's not as close yet. But it's very good on all accuracy. It's probably one of the oldest weapons in Arsenal. Auto bow, garbage. This weapon is terrible. Like, it's terrible because fire rate is seriously delayed on it. Like, one time when you try shooting it, it goes... And you have a scope feature, which basically is useless. So, auto bow is officially probably one of my least favorite weapons in Arsenal. Yeah, there's something that's still worse than that. AWP is a C tier because you walk very slow with it. Yeah, you walk very slow with it, but apparently, half the time it does not. But half the time, if you do scope with it, you do get a better fire rate. But if you don't, it takes forever to reload, and then you have to shoot again. So C tier for that. The bar is S tier. It's not X tier yet, but bar is basically good at all accuracies, very good spread, and very good at basically rounds, but kind of low fire rate though. But it still is definitely an S tier. Barrett is A tier, I would say, because you kind of walk slow with it, but you do get a decent amount of shots with it. It's a very fast shooting sniper. It's like the G11, I believe, which we'll get to later. But very good weapon, but takes forever to reload, and you walk slow with it. Baseball launcher, garbage. This weapon is terrible at that accuracies and basically everything else. Like, get this weapon and you're most likely going to the ball will just go and it'll just roll. And if you get very lucky, you might shoot it. Alright, the bow is probably the worst weapon. The bow is so bad. Like, you have to, sometimes when you hold it, it actually will shoot, but getting that is very annoying. So, yeah, like, I don't know about this. Like, this one is probably the second worst weapon in Arsenal. There's still one more. Kaliko, I'm actually going to give it an A tier because it's pretty good. Good fire rate, but terrible accuracy, but it is pretty good at having some great shooting. It actually is pretty good at, decently good at far and medium accuracy. It's very good at close range. Concussion rifle, this I don't know what else to say. It's probably one of the best weapons in Arsenal since AA-12. You can rocket jump with this thing. It's very fun. There's even a mode that's on it. It's just called Concussion Mania, which basically you use it until you get 17 kills. Although Concussion Mania, if you remember from October when I uploaded that video, I had to kill someone with the golden knife. Well, actually, when it got it updated, it actually is Concussion Rifle. You have to only kill people like 2 more times with the Concussion Rifle, and then you get a win. So it's very good fire rate, good at all accuracies. Crossbow, garbage. I don't know what else to say. Like Jason, apparently, I'm going to say this right now. Jason, this is Jason's least favorite weapon. Actually, these 2 weapons alone are his least 2 favorites. Like, they're bad. Okay. This is where we're really starting to get bad. These are probably the two worst weapons in Arsenal. They don't even get a name. They don't even get a name. I don't know if you see it right here. Like we're heading into another one that's go there, but DB Shaw Chat. This is probably the worst weapon in Arsenal. Terrible fire rate. Terrible with accuracies, but good at scoping at least. But you walk incredibly slow with it. It's like the minigun when it was around, but like the minigun got removed. I don't know if anyone saw that. But nonetheless, probably the worst weapon in Arsenal. Done. DB Shotgun is a E tier. Where'd my mouse go? There it is. It's not really good, but it's good when you right click with it. Very slow fire rate because you have to reload it with only 2 shells in it. And well, you can also jump with this weapon as long as also you can jump with the DBS. I'm gonna have to say it's an A tier, not an X tier yet. Actually, no, I'll say it's S tier. S tier because you can actually jump really high. Probably the best weapon you can jump with in Arsenal. You can get, like, in Dizzy, you can actually get up to the crane where you can shoot. And, like, that makes the game even unfair for, like, others. And they're like, how did you get there, hacker, maybe? But no. DB, although it has 2 fire rates, 2 shells in it. Very good round weapons, and you can easily scope with this. It's also one shot. Very good. Deagle is E because I don't really like the Deagle. The Deagle itself, it's like, I don't know. It's good. It's good at getting a headshot though. It's pretty good at all accuracies. I'll give it a D, I guess. But like the fire rate's pretty terrible on this. Dragunov, let's say it's a C tier because it has a decent fire rate. You don't walk incredibly slow with it, but problem is that kind of like a slow amount of rounds. So I'm not sure about that one. Dual Volcanics, I say this is a D because they're terrible in all accuracies, but it's like close range and close range. It takes forever to reload, even if you run out of ammo. But like, I'm not sure what you put this weapon. Like, if you actually played this game, where would you put this weapon? Let me know. Okay, Electric Revolver is an E tier. Actually, no, it's an F tier because terrible in all accuracies. Very slow fire rate, but you walk incredibly fast with it, and good. And you actually have a good amount of rounds. Actually, no, terrible amount of rounds. So yeah. EM249 is a D tier because it's basically like the M60, which we'll get to that later unless you see it down there. Maybe you see it? Yeah, I think it's there. But like, you're gonna have to like, it's kind of slow fire rate, very slow walking ability, but you can actually get pretty good accuracies with this weapon, so yeah. FAMAS I'll say is a B tier because it's probably the fastest fire rating gun besides the G18 and some others. It's pretty good at all accuracies, but the problem is that it has a very short amount of ammo in a round, but it's still a pretty good weapon all around the game. Okay, the firework launcher is easily an F because terrible fire rate. You only get 4 shots with it, terrible amount of rounds, and like you rock incredibly slow with it. You can rocket jump with it at least, but like that does nothing. The splash damage is really unpredictable on this weapon. So I'm gonna just say that. FN Fall is a C tier because it's good at all accuracies, good fire rate, decent amount of steps, and actually decent amount of rounds. So it'll get a C tier at best. G17, okay, if the G17, if this was December, I would have put it at F tier or E tier, but since it actually got a little bit of an upgrade, I would say it's a B tier. It's good at all accuracies now. Also good fire rate, good amount of rounds, and good spread. G18 is also a B tier because it's actually the same thing, but it's a little bit of a decrease in spread. Good for medium and close accuracies, not good as far range. Good amount of rounds, probably the fastest fire rating weapon in the game, but still. G11 is a C tier, and I'll say also is the GS because they're basically almost identical, except that the G11 shoots faster, but it has like a weird kind of spread. The GS actually has a good amount of spread, but terrible kind of slow fire rate, and you walk pretty slow with this one and pretty fast with this one. It's just that the problem is the rounds are kind of short with them. So yeah, Golden Gun F although it's not really a main weapon in Arsenal, you actually have to kill someone with it, and it does terrible fire rate. You only get 2 shots with it, 2 rounds with it, and yeah, you're done. Okay, the grease gun is definitely an S tier. Actually, no, an X tier, I should say. I'm gonna say X tier because very good accuracy, very good fire rate, very good amount of very good spread. It's like the bar. It's actually better than the bar. I feel like, man, get the grease gun. You might get a kill unless you're bad with it. I don't know. Hand cannon is I'm gonna say E because you do get a decent amount of fire rate with it, but terrible spread, terrible rounds as well. And accuracies, it does pretty good at all of them. I think it's like a 2 shots for headshots, I believe. The heavy rifle is also going to be in the D tier section because although you do get a jump with it, it's terrible. Like, terrible accuracy, though. I would put it at E, but since you do get a jump and you do get a decent amount of fire rate and rounds, you actually get something worth it. High power is E tier. Terrible fucking spread. Terrible fire rate. You don't walk super slow with it, but decent amount of accuracies. Hush Puppy is easily an F tier because this weapon is terrible. Although it gets a 1 shot in the head and 2 shots to the body, that takes forever. You had to wait 3 seconds to shoot again, unless you have auto reload on, which I do. I don't know why, but still, this weapon is a piece of. Anyways, ice stars are basically like the freaking it's basically like the auto mode except you shoot faster, but it's still terrible at all accuracies. I just don't even want to go on how bad it is. Internal shotgun or I call it international shotgun. I don't know why. This is definitely an S tier because it's very fast shooting fire rate, great spread, great accuracy. You know, I'm actually putting it X tier because this is probably one of the best shotguns of the game. It's probably a close set. It would be a close at top 5, but I think this is going to be a top 5 weapon, I guess. Colibri is, I don't know. I don't really know about this weapon. I'm just saying it's pretty terrible at almost all accuracies. Terrible fire rate, terrible spread, but you do walk decent with it. I hate the LA. Actually, not as much though, because you actually do get a decent amount of fire rate with this weapon. The problem is the accuracies are pretty low on this one, and it's only good at close accuracy. Medium does okay, and then far does not do anything. I don't know about that one. Okay, laser rifle would have originally been X tier, S tier, but since it has a very low, actually no, this is the fastest fire rating weapon. But since it has a low type of spread, I just say it's an A tier for now. Unless this weapon somehow gets a nerf for some reason and it gets worse. I don't know. Again, same thing with the lever shotgun. You do get a jump with it, but at the same time, you don't. So, yeah, I don't know about that one. The Little Tom is an E tier. Although it has decent accuracy, terrible fire rate, and terrible spread. But good amount of round of weapon. Good round, at least. Luger is basically the same thing, but except that it's a little bit better with accuracy. You do get at least 2 shots to the face if you do get lucky enough, but nonetheless, it's kind of a mediocre weapon in my opinion. M1 Grand is E tier because this weapon takes forever to shoot. It's terrible rounds, terrible spread, terrible fire rate, and almost terrible accuracy. This would have been an F tier had it been terrible everything. M14 EBR is basically what's that weapon called? Excuse me. This ain't coronavirus, don't worry. It's like the MK18, except that it's kind of downgraded. It's kind of like the G11 a bit, except that it's more faster fire rate. It does have a good amount and does have great accuracy if you scope it as well. M14 is basically like the M1 Grand. M16A1 is a C tier because it has pretty slow fire rate, but you do walk decently good and it's pretty good at all accuracies and such. Okay, M16A2 is definitely an F for me. This weapon is terrible. You only get 3 shots with it. I believe this is, yeah. You only get 3 shots with it because of how bad, it is. The grenade part of it is terrible. You try shooting at them, it'll probably most likely go through them, or you accidentally just completely miss because of how delayed the shot is. Terrible accuracies and terrible fucking walk rate. It's like terrible everything. So definitely F tier for me. M1911, it's also an E because accuracy is terrible on this weapon. Fire rate is very wonky. And I don't know about the spread, but it does have a good round at least, so I'll give it that. M1986 is actually a B tier for me. Although being probably a terrible spread weapon, as I've seen before, it's pretty good at all accuracies, although you walk pretty slow with it. Good spread, but it also a very good round weapon, so yeah. M14A1 Paratrooper is basically where the M14 is, and same goes with the... Oh, wait, that was the Carbine. And same goes with the Paratrooper, because these two weapons in general are basically the same thing, except that they're just... I don't know, they have terrible accuracies. Okay, I would say the M40 is probably the worst weapon in Arsenal, but you're just gonna... I'm gonna put it where DB Shad is, because... Terrible accuracy, first of all. Terrible round. Incredibly slow, but you do walk fast with it. Spread is absolutely stupid on this weapon, but like, if you just do get good with the M40, then you're gonna have something decent on your hands. M14A1 is definitely a C for me. It's mediocre fire rate, but good spread, good on all accuracies. But I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that fire rate though. But it has a good amount of rounds. Remember what I said about the M60? M60 is basically the EM. Because it's terrible at... This one's actually terrible at close... Actually, it's actually terrible at far accuracy. But it has a good round, good fire rate. Decent fire rate, I'd say. But you walk as slow with it as well. Excuse me. And if you're wondering what my least favorite weapon in Arsenal is, it's the M79. This weapon is so bad. Super slow, probably the slowest reload since the musket, which we'll get into. We're getting to that later if you don't see it down there. Actually, no, you don't. You can't see it. Actually, no, you can't see it. There it is. It's so bad. I don't know what to describe. The splash damage is terrible. It's not even although it's a 1 kill, it doesn't matter. Even if you have a great accuracy with it, sometimes it will just completely miss. And half the time, I call it the suicide weapon because you kill yourself with it. Terrible weapon. I don't know. There is no weapon that'll ever beat this, unless somehow the M40 gets nerfed. And I don't know. M9 is definitely an F because terrible accuracy, terrible fire rate, everything. Mach 10 is easy fucking F tier because the spread on this weapon is terrible. Terrible at fucking far and medium range, and it has a great fire rate and all, but like, the spread is just what kills it on this weapon. Mach 10 is also terrible because the fire rate is as bad as the M79, but it's at least decent with shooting. You do get good shots at medium and close, but far range is basically what kills this weapon. Actually, I'm going to put it A tier. It basically kills the weapon. So, yeah. I really don't like the Makarov because although you can fire very fast with it, its spread, accuracy, and rounds is very slow on this, is very terrible on this weapon. No respect for this weapon. Actually, a little bit of respect for this weapon. I mean, it's a fast firing one. Mat 49 is definitely an A tier because it actually is very good spread. It has a very, very good spread. Very good accuracy and very good rounds. Although it has a mediocre fire rate. It has actually a decent fire rate, I'd say. Mauser Carbine, I say it's a C because the spread kind of kills it on this weapon. Very fast shooting, very fast fire rate, and the okay round. Decent at medium and far accuracy, but okay at close for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why that is because the spread's kind of bleh on this one. MG42, I'll say it's actually a B tier because it's you walk pretty fast with this weapon. Very good rounds, good spread, and good at all accuracies. It's not as good as these guys up here, but oh well. Oh, that's motorcycle. Micro Uzis, I don't know about this one because they kind of have a mediocre spread, but they're good at basically most of the accuracies. It has very low fire rate, I feel like, and it's a very fast shooting weapon. No, not fire rate. Very low accuracy and spread, at least. but it has a very good fire rate, but I'm not sure about it. What do you guys think? MK18 is definitely an A tier because this one is very good at spread and accuracies, at least. It's better than the M14 EBR. I mean, because it's basically a faster shooting one. It's also a silencer kind of weapon, which there's one more I still have to mention, but it's still a very good one. Jason's definitely gonna disagree with me on this one. The Mosin, I say it's just it's mediocre because if you do shoot very close with it, you do get a one shot. If you do headshot, you do get a headshot. The problem is that it's only 2 shooting and it has very slow fire rate, but you do walk decently with it and terrible spread as well. But okay, Mossberg is a C because it has a very kind of a slow fire rate and kind of a slow. Kind of a mediocre accuracy. Spread is decent on this weapon, but the rounds, I don't know about that one. MP5K is definitely a B tier. Good spread, good round of ammo, good at pretty much all accuracies, and pretty good at everything. MP79 is a D because rounds on this weapon are absolutely terrible. The rounds, like, I'm pretty sure it's like freaking like 20 shots and then you're done. It's basically just terrible all around. I'm not sure about this weapon. It's just that the fire rate is good, at least, and accuracy is good, but the spread and the freaking rounds are terrible on this one. So I'm not getting anything. MP9S is definitely an X tier. Good spread, good spread. Excuse me again. Good spread, good accuracy, good fire rate, and good rounds. This weapon is basically just another silencer weapon, and it basically makes it, although it doesn't really make a silencer anymore, but it's still very good. MS556 is basically the M40, but it's a little bit upgraded. It's still the same, except that the damage only does 60 this time. It actually does 50 this time instead of 40. Actually, no, it does 50 damage, except that it's a little bit better with accuracy and fire rate. And 40 is basically terrible. If you don't get good with the musket, you probably put it at F, probably the worst, or E. But if you do get good with shooting at it, I'll actually put it at a C tier. Although it has probably the worst fire rate in the game, it's very good at all accuracies. It is a one-shot weapon, and rounds on it are very high. I gotta be right back. Hold up. And there we go. No, that's a video. And it's very good. I will just say that I'll say it's decent for now. Nail gun is S tier because you actually get very good at all accuracies, good fire rate, good spread, and good amount of rounds. The reason why I'm not putting it X tier is because it's kind of a little bit slower than a few other weapons, but it's still very good. It's still very high ranked as in my tier. P250, garbage. This weapon is very slow at fire rate. I would say it's terrible at fire rate, terrible at accuracy, all accuracies, terrible spread, terrible rounds. I don't say it's the worst weapon also because you can actually get, it's only 3 shots and you're good. P90 is a B tier because the spread is kind of mediocre on this one. Very good fire rate at like 900, I believe it's like 900 fire rate per minute or something. I don't know, per second, I think. Man, this weapon was originally my favorite, but since, like, the accuracy kind of kills it, the spread's, actually, no, the spread kind of kills it. It's a B tier. It's pretty good at all accuracies, though. Peacemaker, garbage, and same goes with the pepper gun. Actually, except that the pepper gun is actually a D tier. Pacemaker takes forever, and I mean forever to reload. The fire rate is terrible, unless you right-click with it. And it's terrible on all accuracies. Basically like the Weebly, except that it's just not good. I just don't like this weapon. And as for the pepper gun, if you right-click with it, it actually is a 2-shot. But with the pepper gun, with its accuracy and its fire rate and accuracy, that's a low. That's a low. But the spread is decent. I get it. Pizza is garbage. Plasma launcher is garbage. Potassium power is garbage. TPSH garbage. Presence garbage. All those weapons basically are the same thing. They have terrible accuracy, terrible spread, terrible fire rate, and terrible fucking rounds. Because although the PPSH is probably the best out of all those, they're just all bad. Like, the PPSH is probably the worst accuracy. The pizza, the plasma, and the pizza and the presents, you have to shoot. You have to go. But the fire rate's terrible on that. And the plasma launcher, you kill yourself with it like 99% of the time. It's not even funny. Like, try playing the game without killing yourself with that weapon. Let's see how long it lasts. Okay, so we only have a few more weapons. We have a decent amount left. Projectiles are pretty good at fire rate and accuracies, so I'll give it a B tier. Although the rounds are kind of short with this one, it's a very good fire rate and very good accuracy and good spread, actually. Pump shotgun is an E because the spread on this weapon is mediocre, is terrible. Fire rate is very slow, and the accuracies are decent on this one, I guess, but like still, the two other ones kill it. R800 is also E because it takes forever to fucking shoot with this weapon, and the rounds are mediocre. Railgun is freaking is probably the worst, probably the third worst weapon in Arsenal because you only get 6 shots with this thing. Although it's a one shot, takes forever to reload, and if you missed all the shots, you're done. You're dungeon rings, I say. It's just terrible. The Razor Bomb is basically like a grenade or something, but it's a decent. It's not that bad. Good splash damage, I guess, but slow fire rate. But you do walk fast with it, and pretty good at all accuracies. It's very good at all accuracies. Rocket launcher is an E because this weapon only does 97 damage. That's all it does. It's not even a one-shot with it, and the fire rate is terrible. Absolutely terrible on it. So, yeah. RPG, or the bazooka, as I call it, is basically a C tier because you walk incredibly slow with this thing. But it's probably the most OP because you can actually just shoot at the ground, and you kill someone instantly with it. It's like the M79, except that's better. And you may see that scope right there. You actually don't have to scope at all. Like, you could, but, like, no. It's just that fire rate and how, like, slow you walk with it is terrible. Sako is garbage because accuracy is terrible. It's basically the MS, but, like, it's weaker, but it's not as weak as the M40. Terrible round, terrible fire rate, and terrible spread, and terrible accuracies. Scar H is an S tier for me. This was originally my favorite weapon in Arsenal because very good fire rate. Decent fire rate, great at all accuracies, amazing spread, and amazing round of weapons. Very good, everything. Just love that weapon to a core. What else do we still got? Is it in this game? Oh, it is. There it is. Slingshot is E. Snowball is garbage because that thing kind of the slingshot suit, like, accuracy is terrible. The spread is terrible, but good fire rate. Snowball is terrible at everything. Almost, because sometimes when you accidentally hold it for too long, it like just goes into like more, like, it just goes into snowball, like tinier snowballs. I don't know about this weapon. Like, I don't know about it. Spas 12 is like basically like the AA12, except that spread is kind of mediocre, but good fire rate, great at all accuracies, good amount of rounds, and not very slow at all. So good fire rate. Spellbook is E. Spencer Carbine though, F. And same goes to the Springfield rifle or Homer Simpson needs to get a better. Shut the fuck up, Jason. The Spellbook is good at accuracies at best, but like fire rate, spread, and rounds are infinite on the weapon. But like everything about it is just terrible. Meanwhile, the Spencer Carbine is probably the worst accuracy weapon in this game because shooting at far range does nothing, shooting at close range does nothing, and shooting at medium range does nothing either. You have to be like very good at shooting with that weapon or something else. The Springfield rifle is probably the slowest shooting rifle in this game because it takes like 2 seconds to like reload, and then you shoot again, and you have to miss again if you have auto reload on, that is, and it just sucks. The Stead, I will say, is an A tier because it's very good accuracies, very good rounds, very good spread, and decent fire rate. I will probably say it's as good as the Spas 12, except that it's a little bit slower fire rate. Super Ball is basically presence, but it's more better, I guess, but accuracies are terrible on this thing, and spread is terrible. Tech 9 is easily an S tier for me. I don't know why it's ranked a pistol. It should be like a light machine gun or something. It's very good spread, very good accuracy, very good fire rate, and very good rounds. Although the Tech 9 has a decent amount of rounds, actually, I meant. But still. Tommy gun is garbage. Like, terrible fire rate. You walk incredibly slow with this weapon. Good rounds at least, but terrible spread. I don't know what's up with this weapon. It's like, Tommy gun just doesn't do anything. TOZ is a C tier because, okay, it has okay accuracy at medium, good at, no, I meant decent, accuracy at far, okay, good, accuracy at medium, and very good at close. But the fire rate kind of kills it. The spread's okay on this weapon, but the rounds are, I don't know about the rounds, though. Trench gun, I don't have any opinions on this weapon. This is probably one of the best weapons in Arsenal. Good at all accuracies, great shooting, good fire rate, or technically slow fire rate, but good weapon. Hit one shots almost all the time, or even 2 shots. UFP is, I'd say it's a C tier, because, costs a very slow fire rate, but it's good at almost all accuracies and good spread, but, it's a meh amount of rounds for the weapon, at least. The Uzi, garbage. Terrible accuracy, terrible spread, but good fire rate, but very low amount of rounds. We only have 5 weapons left. Weebly, it's a D, I guess, but like, if you do somehow get good with it, like with getting headshots and all, it's actually a 1 shot to the head, but 2 shots to the face, but like 2 shots to the body. Except that, like, the weapon takes forever to reload. I don't know why, but, like, it's bad. Windicator would have been probably the worst on this list. But since it did get upgraded, I'll put it at a C tier because it's good at accuracy, good fire rate. Excuse me if you heard that. Good spread, but terrible rounds as such as the Weebly. But, like, the Weebly does get something decent. XM14 is an E because terrible fire rate, terrible spread, and terrible almost everything. XR15 is garbage because it's basically like the M16A2, except that the fire rate's a little bit better, but the spread is good. Spread is okay on it. Good accuracy though, but rounds, I don't know about that. And finally, the Z80, which is basically probably the most garbage weapon in this game. Z80? No. Terrible accuracy, terrible fire rate unless you somehow just spam click it. And if you hold it, you actually get one shot. Or if you hold it long enough, you actually get a one shot with it. But terrible at all accuracy and other stuff. So that is it. That is my Arsenal tier list. Because it took me forever. Because, I don't know, this video uploads. It's probably going to be like 7 by the time this video uploads. But, I don't know. But, if you have any opinions on what goes where, please let me know, or you can even tell me in the comment section. But thank you guys for watching, and this is Cole signing out.